What you're about to see is just an excerpt of a much longer live stream that I did over on the Snipe Life's YouTube channel alongside Brandon Robbins and Derbania. I would highly encourage you to go subscribe to all of their channels because they have amazing content, but stick around right now and catch this short excerpt.
Let's talk about being creators. At the beginning of this year, we had 100 subscribers. It took us 6 to 8 months for me and Vanessa to hit 100 subscribers on this channel. But the first video that we made about The Chosen, we got 7 subscribers in one day, and I freaked out, right? And so for me, it was this moment of like, oh, okay. I have an understanding of like, wow, this took a turn. And so I know a lot of us have similar stories this year. And I'd love, Derral, if you, as the rest of the guys are talking, if you could think of kind of one piece of advice that you would give each of us for our channels.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be amazing. It means so much to me.
Hey, but before we do, could we get Vanessa on? I got to take a screenshot that actually looks
yeah.
good for the camera. Like we got it. Vanessa, there you are. Okay, so everybody has to show their shirt because I need to do a social post here.
Oh.
So just like,
you're gonna be disappointed because it's also a Snipe Life.
oh!
Oh no!
All right, let's see if did we get
no.
it? Did we get it? Okay, all right. Well, we'll see if we got it. Okay, there it is. So what we're gonna do, Vanessa, this is really important. Let's go ahead. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. I reached the daily maximum. I give away too much money on Super Chat. Let me see if I can. Hey, you can blame YouTube on this one. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do on that one. All right. Well, guess what? It won't even let me do anything because I actually spent a lot of money on Super Chat, by the way. But we'll see what we can do here. It won't even let me give you any money, so I will give you money. We're going to take care of this so you can get a T-shirt. But anyway, yes, I just wanted to get that screenshot. That's great. I can use that for social. That'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if we want to kind of dig deep. So for those that don't know, I'm actually the author of the Wall Street Journal best-selling book called The YouTube Formula. I've been doing YouTube since 2005. My goal has always been really trying to find creators that have light to give because, like, I don't want my kids watching trash on YouTube. I want them to be able to watch content that will uplift them and be in a very positive way. I've worked with some of the biggest brands and YouTubers on the planet. And I have fun what I'm doing. And for me, I've been kind of out of it, for the last 3 years because I've been focusing so much on The Chosen. So I haven't been uploading as much to my channel because I've been just kind of diverting time because there's not a project that I've ever been a part of that's more important than that and than The Chosen. And, we're really trying to get this out to 1 billion people and we're doing it in a new way and it's difficult. But I still, have a lot of advice for YouTube. I still do consulting at times. And so, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's break it down.
Yeah,
will help you get more subscribers.
Let's just go through the last 4 or 5 months. Kind of give me your, what your journey's been like. Let's start with Brandon, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I started doing YouTube about 2 years ago in the spring of whatever year that was, 2019. And it was a slow go. I mean, kind of like you said. So it took me 2 years to get to somewhere around 900 subscribers. And I was still under that watch hours thing, like under 4,000 watch hours. And then I did a video on episode 1 of season 1 of The Chosen, kind of a reaction video of just looking at the stuff going on behind the scenes and the details and the context and all those things you might miss. And I actually decided like right after that to stop doing YouTube, which is just crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was just tired. It was the beginning of the year. I had like so many things going on. Our church was picking back up. And so I was just like, you know what? It's been 2 years. If God wants me to do this, something will happen. But until then, I'm just going to take a break. And so I like did my last video, I think at like the end of February. And then no joke, like a week later, everything just blew up. Like all of a sudden that video, the reaction to The Chosen went from maybe like 100 views in the first week, which I mean, like at that point, 100 views was like complete success. Like, I mean, that was just the most amazing thing. And I'm still just so grateful for every single view because of that whole journey. But and then all of a sudden it just took off. And I think like, something must have happened around Easter, because all of a sudden the channel just started growing. And, within a couple of months, the channel had like 1 million views, and it's been amazing. And so I personally just spent that time trying to figure out, like, what is it? Maybe I'm just riding the wave of The Chosen, and that's amazing. That's really cool. Or is there something about these videos that's really connecting? And I think the coolest thing has been that I've realized that something I love is something other people love. So probably about 10 years ago, I read a book called Sitting at the Feet of Rabbi Jesus, where it just gave me this whole perspective of like what it meant to follow Jesus as a rabbi and all these little things in scripture that I'd missed. And so I just decided to keep doing videos on that kind of stuff, taking people through scripture, taking people through like each kind of disciple and what are the things you don't know about them, and all of that stuff. And just the opportunity to connect with people through comments or through emails, and just hear how this is blessing them, how it's opening up scripture, how they're seeing things in totally new ways is just a gift that I'm humbled to be able to share with people.
Awesome. It's I think we all definitely have a piece of that same, like, man, this is crazy, like, just mind blown moment over the last I mean, Derral Eves is on my live stream right now, guys.
I know.
like things have changed, right? Like we're definitely in a different spot. So Chris, you've been doing this the longest, other than obviously Derral, but
yeah,
kind of explain your journey over the last 4 or 5 months.
Oh man. My journey's been really weird and insane. I mean, I started my YouTube channel. I had been 6 years at this one Christian radio station, and I loved that place. And then listeners quit supporting it, and it went under. And my mission in life has always been, what can I do to make Jesus clear to people? Like, that's just what I want to do. I want to make Jesus clear. And I was trying to think, like, I was watching other movie reviewers on YouTube, and I was just like, I could probably do something like that. And one of the things that birthed my channel is the fact that my brother-in-laws and I would go see movies. And when we're coming back, like, we're all Christians, so we're sitting there, we're picking it apart theologically. Oh, this could mean that. Like, we're finding meanings that definitely aren't there. But they're things that really spoke to us. And I thought, well, there's a YouTube channel. Who's doing a movie perspective that way? And so when I started, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know one YouTube thing. And so it took 1 year, and I barely got 75 subscribers. But I kept plugging away, and I kept working really hard. And one of the things I realized is I could not have picked a harder path. Picking something like secular movies and Superman, and then trying to find Jesus in it and talking about that. Like, I don't think I could have picked a harder path for trying to do something unique and carve a little niche for myself. But through collaborations, through it, like, I found Derral Eves' channel, started watching his channel, started taking his tips, and lots of other YouTube creators like Derral. And so I really started to learn. And when I really started to apply what I learned, I really saw a lot of solid growth. But like I said earlier, like, one of the things that really related to me in The Chosen was Simon Peter when he couldn't catch one fish. I mean, there was probably one point mid my YouTube career where honestly I was running on empty. Because like, I want to make Jesus clear to people. Why is this not connecting? And I mean, I was just having a really bad day. And so having a show like that really connected to me was something incredibly powerful. And I almost didn't even review The Chosen, because I think I was telling you guys this right before we went live, but like, the sweet irony of my channel is I like to find God in the secular stuff. I like to go and find God with Marvel, with DC, with Star Wars. I love diving deep into all of those type of things, and it's just a blast for me. But The Chosen just caught my attention. It's like, no, this is really good. I got to talk about this. And I posted that first review, and it was the review that changed my life. I mean, it took me, I've done this 6 years, and in 6 years I got up to about 8,000 subscribers. Once I started doing The Chosen season 2 and started dropping stuff on that, I didn't even see 9,000 subscribers. I jumped to 10,000. Then I didn't even see 10,000. I hit 11,000. And now I'm already almost to 12,000. And so for me, that's like this huge, amazing jump. And so it's like, I really am now beginning to understand what I've done with The Chosen that has really connected with the audience. And people in the comments have been very clear. And I love that. They've been very clear about what I've said in my videos that has connected to them. And I can't tell you how much it's like somebody give me the answers to the test. Like, I really can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And so now it's helping me learn what I could do better. But it's like I got to get advice from Derral here because my audience has 180 shifted from males 18 to 34 to females 65 and over.
Oh, true.
And so I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I'm not going to stop talking about The Chosen. I love talking about The Chosen. It's a passion to talk about The Chosen, but I don't want to stop talking about this stuff behind me.
Well, let me just Chris, let me just get right to it because
do it.
It's easier to find Jesus in The Chosen than it is in Iron Man. Come on. I mean, wow. So it just made your job a little bit easier, right?
It does, actually. It made my job a lot easier doing theological analyses of The Chosen.
Look what Brandon did. There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
There we go.
Oh.
That's what we're talking about. I thought something like this would happen because, you were gone. Vanessa was on. I was like, okay, this is going to happen.
But David, just tell us a little bit about just kind of the last few months. What has it been like for you? And tell us about it.
Yeah, so it was actually kind of a surprise how we ended up here because originally I had another YouTube channel which was just called Now Let's Be Honest, and really that was just a thing where I would upload like sermons that I preached or like just music that I'd written and stuff like that. It was more just like a side thing for me to just put stuff that I'd made. And then my girlfriend had never seen any of the Marvel movies. And so what I decided to do is we started making reaction videos to those. And I didn't want those to bog down that YouTube channel because I wanted people to be able to go to that YouTube channel and just, access like more like sermons and music and stuff like that. And that's a much smaller channel now. But what I ended up doing is I just created a second YouTube channel and I just called it Now Let's Be Honest About Movies. And we started making stuff like that. And this was just like less than a year ago. I think we launched our channel about like in October of 2020. And then as time progressed, I actually had one of my friends get together and I lead a Bible study. And I was wanting him to start leading the Bible study in the future. And I thought a good way to kind of get him prepared for that was to actually just like get together, sit down and talk about God and talk about Jesus. And I thought that The Chosen was a good way to do that. And so what we would do is we would actually sit down and we'd watch an episode of the show. And then we just kind of come into my room and just start recording. So there wasn't the pressure of there being a bunch of people there. It was just me and him talking about Jesus, breaking down the show, talking about historical context and stuff. And we would just do that for all the episodes. We weren't really necessarily worried about growing the channel or anything. It was more just like a side thing that we were doing, more like kind of a discipleship thing. But then people started paying attention to it. And then whenever season 2 rolled around, me and some friends started actually just doing reviews of the episode. And then like about a week later, I would just sit down and do an in-depth theological breakdown that would be like multiple hours long. And people started watching those a lot. And so I think it was around season 2, episode 3. I think that was whenever like my channel really started growing. I think prior to that, I had like 100 subscribers. And then all of a sudden it just like started skyrocketing to where like, I think over the course of like a week, I jumped up to like 200 or 300. And then now I think I'm still like just a little bit over 1,000, but it's been kind of a crazy ride just because we started this less than a year ago, just as like a side thing, just for fun. And so now this channel is like, I think 4 times the size of the original channel that I had. And so it's been kind of a crazy ride.
Super cool. Well, in a lot of ways, we're all still at the beginning of our journeys. And so Derral, if there's, a piece of advice that you could give, to each of us, what would that be? Because I would cherish that for sure.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've really built a career on developing audiences, but I think you can use the example of The Chosen as an example of how to grow. And it's really focusing in on who and what. And the who is really important of understanding who your viewer is. And I know Chris said, oh, my demographic changed. That's fine. But their passion is the who we're talking about, because demographic is just demographic. What we want to do is like really understand what they're passionate about. And so that's what we do, is pretty much really focus in on what their passion is. And then I like to break down their psychological triggers. And so that's the psychographics of just like, what makes them who they are. What type of people are they in real life? What do they do in their given day? I try to come up with these assumptions from there. And then ultimately it's just really understanding what they do online and offline, where you can actually speak to them. And so I think a lot of you have seen a lot of growth because there's an audience that's craving for content. and it's content that they can't get through The Chosen. It's like commentary. We're not going to go give commentaries, play-by-play commentary of what's going on. I mean, you'll get Dallas that he'll react to it, an episode or two, but they want an outside third-party connection. And these are the people that are so passionate about the show that they're going to hit that subscribe button, and they're going to see anything that The Chosen comes up on the homepage of YouTube. They're going to click on it, and they're going to watch it, and they're going to be watching it all the way to the end if that's very impactful. And so one of the things that I noticed, it was well over a year ago, Dallas sent me a video of Chris's review of The Chosen, and he says, check out this guy. And I'm like, okay, went on, and I actually watched several of his videos because he was good. He was good on camera, and I'm a sci-fi freak too, and I like the movies, and it's great. It was just great content. And so when you start really packaging it together, then it comes back down to the value proposition. Like, what's going to make you unique to fulfill on what the viewer really wants. And right now, people, that you're seeing views and subscribers and, activation coming through content that is around The Chosen, and they're just wanting more. And then it's like, how do you deep dive into it? But really creating a content strategy that makes sense, that people can really digest. And so whether you're doing an in-depth review, that's great. If you're doing a live stream, live commentary, that's great. It's like creating content strategy that you're just doing things over and over again, but you're just changing out, okay, this one's for episode 1, this is for episode 2, or we're going to do an in-depth character analysis of Matthew, or we're going to do an in-depth character of Mary. Those are really, really powerful verticals that people can like, hey, I like this series. It's what I call a bucket, but it's like, I really like this type of content. And, I really engage with it. So anytime they see it, they're more apt to click on that, and they're more engaged. Now, one thing that all of you can do a lot better than we can at The Chosen, we do a lot of our production way in advance, when we're in production. And you're seeing, even the last couple of weeks of, our production happening on our channel, but you can actually prepare with, hey, what is the title? What is the thumbnail? What is the content? And then you can record the content. Sometimes ours is more reactionary. And if you're more preparing that content to engage, that's where the audiences really, really look forward to, because then you can start seeing what worked and how to improve. That's just that analyzing and adjusting as you use that content strategy. So here's my big tip for all of you. It's really simple. It's like continue to collaborate and continue to cross promote. So what I would do if it was me is start doing videos together where you're bringing each other on and giving commentary. But at the end of the video, what you need to do is shoot them over to a video that's on your other channel so that you can have that collaboration and growth. Because I can guarantee you this, I know it for a fact, that there are people that are subscribed to this channel that are not subscribed to Derbania. And there's people that are, subscribed to Derbania that's not to David's or Brandon's channel. And so that's what we need to do, is just like really find a way to help each other, but not just to come on. Coming on is great for your own channel, but the real synergistic way of doing it is when you say, okay, this is part 1 of part 2, or we're covering this and we're going to go way into depth. Brandon's going to deep dive into, the scriptures, and we're going to go into these 3 scenes, but you can only find it on his channel over there. Then all the people that are loyal here are going to go over there. And before you know it, the YouTube algorithm is going to see, oh, here's a viewing pattern of these types of people that like this type of content. What should we do? Well, let's go find more people like that. And then the algorithm does its thing. It goes out and it basically puts your content in front of people that normally don't see it. And I'm telling you, this is going to be big, because we're not slowing down, guys. We're doing 7 seasons, and we're going to have a ton of content out there, and we're not slowing down at all. And you're going to have a lot of commentary and a lot of interaction from that. And I can tell you the first ones, starting usually benefit the most. And so really, get involved in our community so you can hear what fans are saying, not just on your own channel, but you're kind of responding to them in videos. And that's something that I know that we look at very, very closely, is the pulse of our audience. But if you're really trying to understand what people love or dislike, you really need to get involved in those communities so you can say, oh, that's a great video idea. I'm going to cover that. And I can guarantee you this, Dallas watches it. You know, it's like, oh yeah, it was great. You know, that was a great video that touched us. But our social team, they watch everything. Like, we just see it and we're just like doing it from there. And then we're always pushing and promoting too. And we have this little thing on Slack where we're discovering new content and we're reaching out all the time to creators. I mean, we've reached out to a lot of you on this stream, and that's the essence of it. It's like, if we're helping each other, if we're really helping each other in a way to get our content seen by more people, it's going to bless more people's lives. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm doing YouTube. That's why I'm doing The Chosen, is I want more light in the world, because this world's really dark and it needs more light. And so, you know, the essence of helping and uplifting and really coming together on a common cause, we can get it out to the world. And I can tell you, until we're suppressed by YouTube, that day might come, you know, we will use and leverage that algorithm to go and find that audience that's worse. And it does work. Go look at the Chosen's channel, you know, and other channels that are out there. It's just when people are passionate about it, and there's content to give them, you're being consistent in that, and you're really, you know, speaking to the what, then you're really connected with them on a level where they become fans and they're looking forward for when you post next.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, that gives me a ton of ideas and insight, and definitely thank you so much.
Tonight you will deny me in a single breath. You'll deny we met tonight.